Good evening. This is the news tonight, your daily roundup of all that has happened across India and the world. I'm Ishan Russell, and tonight our focus is on the growing rhetoric between India and Pakistan, be it about ceasefire violations or the mystery of the Pakistani boat that exploded near the coast of Gujarat. The allegations and the counter-allegations continue to rage on. We'll be talking about all this and more over the next half hour, but first the headlines we're tracking right now. Eminent economist Arvind Panagriya appointed to run Prime Minister Narendra Modi's new policy commission, Niti Aayog. Defence Minister cites reasons to support the terror theory amid controversy over the Pakistani vessel. Opposition demands transparency on the identity of 4 people on board. One more Jawan killed as Pakistan continues ceasefire violations in Jammu and Kashmir. Villagers caught in the crossfire being evacuated in bulletproof vehicles. The United States clears a $1.5 billion aid to Pakistan after praising its efforts against terrorism. India unhappy with the US's continued support to Pakistan. And the Sports Ministry recommends Saina Nehwal's name for the Padma Bhushan Awards after the shuttler expressed disappointment over missing out. Well, our top story tonight, the process for transforming India as promised by the Prime Minister began today with the appointment of the members of the Niti Aayog. The members include noted economists and also key ministers. And as the first step in the replacement of the Planning Commission, the government today archived the website of the erstwhile Planning Commission.
The Planning Commission website page can now only be used for reference. The main page of the Commission's archived website also provides information about replacing of the Commission by the Niti Aayog. The Niti Aayog tweeted, and I quote, "Administrative reforms are underway. The Niti Aayog website will be ready in a few days. The process for transforming India has begun." Unquote. The Prime Minister, who will be chairman of the Niti Aayog, also made key appointments to the new body. Arvind Panagriya, a free market economist who teaches at Columbia University in the United States, has been appointed the first vice chairman. In addition, economist Bibek Devroy and former DRDO chief V.K. Saraswat were appointed as full-time members. Union Ministers Rajnath Singh, Arun Jaitley, Suresh Prabhu and Radha Mohan Singh were appointed as ex-officio members, while Nitin Gadkari, Smriti Zubin Irani and Thawar Chand Gehlot will be special invitees. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
All right, a special focus tonight. The centre claims there are definite indications that the men on the boat intercepted off the coast of Gujarat on New Year's Eve were suspected terrorists. Now, amid speculation that the vessel may have been a fishing or a smuggling boat, Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar today gave reasons to vindicate the terror boat theory. Listen in.
After allegedly ignoring several Indian Coast Guard warnings on trespassing into Indian waters and even a hot pursuit, the men on board had blown up themselves and their boat. The incident, as claimed by the government, gave rise to the terror boat hypothesis. Pakistan has claimed the boat belonged to a drug cartel, a premise the Defence Minister rejects strongly.
The most important factor, if you ask me why I will classify them under suspected or probable terrorist, is because they committed suicide. Harakiri. A normal boat, even carrying some drug, can throw away the drug and surrender.
Parrikar also rejected the fishing boat theory, stressing that every condition pointed to the terror boat conclusion.
The location is not normal sea route or a normal route for the fishing boats. This is a different route.
The veracity of these claims has turned into a sparring issue between the government and opposition. With the Congress raising questions on the nature of the boat, the BJP had hit out, accusing the Congress of helping Pakistan. The Congress seeks definite evidence over claims.
What is the difficulty in making the evidence public? After all, national security is not the exclusive preserve of government. national security is the common concern of each and every citizen of this country.
An unnecessary controversy has broken out, a political controversy, and the Congress party is trying to play politics with national security. This is highly regrettable and condemnable.
The Defence Ministry is reported to be preparing a full internal review of the operation, which will include studying communications and video footage to provide minute-to-minute details of what happened. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Suhasini Haider, diplomatic editor at The Hindu newspaper, joins us live in our studio. Thanks very much for coming in, Suhasini. Very simply, I mean, the rhetoric keeps getting sharper. There are more doubts coming in, more questions emerging. So as far as this boat is concerned, I mean, this could become a major diplomatic issue between India and Pakistan.
Well, certainly we are yet to see how the Indian government wants to proceed with this as far as the Pakistani government goes. We've already seen the denial coming from Pakistan that this was in any way a kind of terror boat, as has been alleged. I think everyone needs to kind of take this down a peg or two, if you like, because what we're looking at is this incident has just happened. It was an incident on the 31st night. Many of the details are still coming out. As we saw today, the Coast Guard is still looking for the bodies of those who presumably perished on board. The boat itself blew up, which means a lot of the evidence will never be found. And I think we have to go very slowly on what actually is known about this boat, how it came to be there, why the government and the Coast Guard in particular and the NTRO felt that it needed to be chased. I think many of those details are still coming out. Unfortunately, in all, as you said, the rhetoric, in all the words that are going back and forth, not just between India and Pakistan, but internally here as well, we're missing out on what is the solid evidence in front of us.
So, Asni, do stay on with us because there is another story between India and Pakistan that is playing out, and rather morbidly, because another Indian Jawan was martyred in a fresh bout of ceasefire violations by Pakistan today. Indian forces are retaliating strongly to the cross-border firing amid the centre's concern that Pakistan is trying to infiltrate militants. Villagers caught in the crossfire are being evacuated to safer regions after the death of 4 people in the past 7 days.
Pakistan has begun a fresh round of ceasefire violations across the international border in Jammu region. This time, 15 Indian posts came under fire from the Pakistan Rangers. One BSF Jawan who was injured in the firing has succumbed to his injuries. The series of firing has forced villagers living near the border to flee to safer regions. Over 3,500 people have migrated from border villages in Sambha and Kathua districts.
पहली बार देख रहा हूँ इस साल काफ़ी बार सीज फायर वायलेशन हो गई, काफ़ी फायरिंग हुई है, काफ़ी शेलिंग हुई है, लेकिन आज जिस तादाद में फायरिंग हो रही है ये हम पहली बार देख रहे हैं। ये वार टाइम में ऐसी शेलिंग होती है। बॉर्डर विलेज है और यहाँ इस वक्त काफ़ी इंटेंस फायरिंग शेलिंग हुई है, तो उसके चलते पुलिस एजेंसी यहाँ से लोगों को इवैक्यूएट करने के लिए लगी हुई है। हमने बुलेट प्रूफ व्हीकल्स यहाँ सर्विस में दी हुई हैं।
Political parties and security analysts have called on Pakistan for restraint and adherence to lay down mechanisms to ensure peace on the border. With US President Barack Obama scheduled to visit India this month, the security alert has been increased along LOC and border.
We are concerned that the way Pakistan has been hampering and trying to indulge in cross-border firing, trying to give cover to the infiltrators is a matter of concern.
It wants to divert the Pakistani people's attention from the internal turmoil and the weaknesses that the Pakistani army is facing in their battle against the Taliban. And secondly, whenever an American president is coming to South Asia or especially to India, Pakistan wants to internationalize the India-Pakistan problem.
In the past week alone, 2 BSF Jawans have died because of firing. Indian retaliatory fire has killed 5 Pakistan Rangers. Apart from this, 1 civilian has been killed and 10 others injured as a result of Pakistani firing. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And with us in our studio is Suhasini Haider. She's the diplomatic editor of The Hindu. Suhasini, as far as the rhetoric on this front goes, well, a lot justified, but the kind of, I mean, in terms of diplomatic initiatives or just words perhaps trying to resolve this issue, that doesn't seem to be happening.
Well, certainly what it seems is that the diplomatic initiatives, if any, are happening behind the scenes. While what we are hearing is some very strong words coming. We heard from the Pakistani defense minister as well today, accusing India of starting a low-intensity war on its eastern border while it is preoccupied with its war on terror. Of course, on our side, we have seen our cabinet, our defense minister, other leading politicians say that this time we will give Pakistan back, that in fact that the Indian forces are really ready for any kind of misadventure from the Pakistani side. These words, while they are assuring us in many ways, are also leading to the question, really, has the rhetoric gone very high at a time, as some of the people on your story right now were saying, at a time when India is under particular focus, under particular security threats as well.
All right, but Suhasini, then does this escalate into something more? Is there a real fear as far as that is concerned?
Well, we have to remember, firstly, as your analyst said, that Pakistan really does want to internationalize the Kashmir situation, does want to internationalize the situation at the LOC, and therefore wants to bring as much focus as it can just ahead of US President Obama's visit. But on the Indian side, we also have to see that not only is this a high-profile visit, many militant groups will be looking to target India to try and create as many diversions, if you like, and possibly plan out and carry out terror attacks at this time. This is a time of high investment. We're seeing the global CEO conclave, which Prime Minister Modi will go to in Gujarat this month. Also, investors coming to a similar conclave in West Bengal this month. So this is a time when India is under high focus. And apart from all the security threats, we've had that situation at the LOC. A few months ago, we had a situation on our other front as well with China. This is really a time where India has to be particularly alert to any kind of misadventure and to anyone who will try to exploit this situation in particular to bring focus to some of these issues.
So perhaps tread with caution is the note of advice that you perhaps would be giving to the Indian diplomats at this stage. Thanks very much for coming in, Suhasini, and sharing your perspective on these particular issues. Well, and as Suhasini was mentioning, the US has praised Pakistan's efforts to prevent terror groups from operating in its territory. Paving the way for a grant to Pakistan, US Secretary of State John Kerry said Pakistan has taken adequate action against the terror groups. But India is far from happy with the US clean chit to Pakistan.
A US pat on the back for Pakistan for what it calls efforts against terror. US Secretary of State John Kerry said the Pakistan government has acted well against terrorist groups like the Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. Kerry signed the certification which makes Pakistan eligible to receive aid from United States. Under the Kerry-Lugar bill, Pakistan can now receive an aid package worth $1.5 billion every year. President Barack Obama is expected to clear the funds soon. But the move has not gone down too well in India, with leaders questioning Islamabad's intentions on tackling terror. The recent incidents of Mumbai blast mastermind Zakir Rahman Lakhvi's bail plea and the blast near Gujarat in a boat with suspected terrorists have only fueled tensions.
How the government of the United States decides to spend US taxpayers' money is entirely its prerogative. However, India does not believe that Pakistan is showing either sustained commitment or making significant effort or seizing support or dismantling bases of operations of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Haqqani network, and quite possibly the Al-Qaeda.
If there is such an opinion, we would really want to know on what it is based, because our reading is that Pakistan has been extremely tardy and completely dishonest in dealing with the people who have hurt our country. Not only do they hurt our country, but they hurt any chances of this entire region being in peace together. And therefore, no matter what are the compulsions and political reasons for giving clean chits within Pakistan or from outside Pakistan, it's not acceptable to India.
The US decision comes at a crucial time, just weeks ahead of President Barack Obama's visit to India as chief guest on Republic Day. Kerry will also visit Pakistan later this month to hold a strategic dialogue in Islamabad. This decision to provide aid to Pakistan could add to India's discomfort with Washington's line of tackling terror. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, time for a very quick break right now, but coming up on the other side, the BJP chief Amit Shah holds a meeting with party leaders from Jammu and Kashmir to discuss government formation. More on that after the break. Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Now, the Union Cabinet today finalized the reserve price for spectrum auction for various bands. The centre hopes to earn revenues of close to 65,000 crore rupees from the auction of the 380.75 MHz spectrum, out of which 16,000 crores is expected to be realised in this financial year itself. Sectoral regulator TRAI had already given recommendations on the base price and other modalities for the auction of the radio waves in 800 MHz, 900 MHz, 1800 MHz and 2100 MHz. It is also suggested that all bands should be auctioned simultaneously. Now, BJP President Amit Shah summoned party leaders from Jammu and Kashmir for a meeting today ahead of formal structured talks with the PDP over government formation in the state. The meeting comes amid reports that PDP-BJP talks could be delayed due to the security situation in the state. Despite BJP's confidence to play its role in the new government, there is no clear picture yet on who will take the lead.
It's been about 2 weeks since results were declared for the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly polls. But there's still no clarity on who will join hands to form a coalition government for the next 6 years. After getting offers from Congress and National Conference, single largest party PDP is set to begin talks with BJP. The two parties will hold formal talks to work out an alliance to rule the state. Ahead of the talks, BJP President Amit Shah summoned state party leaders in Delhi to discuss the way forward.
PDP के तरफ से भी कुछ पहल है, उस पहल को आगे बढ़ाते हुए विषयों पर चर्चा परामर्श करना है, ऐसा विचार हुआ है।
ऐसे देखिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी बड़ी गंभीरता के साथ आगे बढ़ रही है और जल्दबाजी में कोई भी कदम उठाना नहीं चाहती, क्योंकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जो मैंडेट मिला है वो सरकार बनाने के लिए मिला है। और अब जो गठबंधन बने, स्थायी गठबंधन बने और 6 साल के लिए सरकार चले, भारतीय जनता पार्टी का ये पूरा प्रयास है।
But sources say formal talks between PDP and BJP scheduled for Tuesday may be delayed after recent ceasefire violations. One of the conditions that PDP has reportedly set for an alliance with BJP is that the centre resumes talks with Pakistan. PDP has sought assurances on several key issues before deciding on whether to ally with BJP or not. Congress seems to have washed its hands off for now, leaving it to the two largest parties to decide the future course of action. But the party made it clear they're ready to play its role if PDP calls for help.
Congress can't do anything. BJP and PDP has to decide. They have the numbers. They have given the support, but it's for them to accept or not to accept.
But time is running out for the parties to form the next government. The governor has set January 19th as a deadline for government formation in the state. Otherwise, the state could see president's rule. With inputs from Anu Devan, Bureau Report, Sabha TV.
The Bihar Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi today became the latest target of shoe-throwing protesters. A youth hurled a shoe at Manjhi at a public meeting in Patna, accusing him of playing caste politics. He alleged that politicians in the state were only doing lip service in the name of development of the backward sections. He was immediately detained by the police. The Chief Minister, though, ducked and escaped unhurt. Now let's look at all the other national news we're tracking in Nationwide. The Supreme Court says it will not interfere with the Rajasthan government ordinance that mandates minimum educational qualifications for contesting panchayat polls. It asked the petitioners to approach the High Court. 11 opposition parties, including the Congress and NGOs, had filed petitions protesting against the ordinance and it being used so close to the last day of nominations for the panchayat polls. The Tamil Nadu government today launched the Amma Cement scheme, under which key construction components will be available at subsidized rates. As per the scheme launched by AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha last year, the government will procure 2 lakh tons of cement from private sector and sell it at 190 rupees per bag in places of the actual cost of 360 rupees per bag. Trinamool Congress workers staged protests today against the slapping of party MP and Mamata Banerjee's nephew Abhishek Banerjee during a party program on Sunday. The incident happened when Abhishek Banerjee, Lok Sabha member from Diamond Harbour, was attending a TMC program in Chandipur area of East Midnapur. The MP said he had forgiven the attacker. It was a harrowing beginning to the week for morning commuters from Delhi from Ghaziabad after a stretch of the National Highway 24 caved in, causing massive traffic jams. A 10-foot deep ditch appeared approximately 12 kilometers from the Delhi border, forcing police to block the road and divert traffic. Officials say a leaking pipeline is the suspected cause of the caving. Now, the centre today clarified that 77 contractual workers in Sri Lanka are not being held captive, but are caught in a labour dispute with a private steel company in which they are employed. Families of the workers had written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi alleging that workers are being held captive in the Bulwaka steel plant in Colombo. They asked the centre to intervene to bring them home. The families claimed the workers had not been paid in the past 2 months and their passports were confiscated by the company officials. The workers, most of them from Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, went to Colombo in June 2014. The External Affairs Ministry, meanwhile, assured that it is in constant touch with the steel company and will bring the workers back to India soon.
This is a labour dispute between an Indian company and 77 Indian workers. Since Friday, our High Commission in Colombo has been working on it. Subsequently, this morning, a consular team has gone to the company. They have got all the information and they are now working to ensure that they are repatriated at the earliest.
And the search mission to find more wreckage of the Air Asia flight resumed today. 3 more bodies were recovered as the search continues for more wreckage. Search teams reported that an Indonesian patrol vessel had found what could possibly be the tail of the aircraft, where the crucial black box voice and flight data recorders are located.
3 more bodies recovered as the search and rescue mission continues for the Air Asia plane that crashed over the Java Sea. More wreckage was also found, reportedly of the tail of the plane, where the crucial black box is located.
Kita sudah menemukan 10 jasad dari korban dan sejumlah besar barang-barang yang merupakan pecahan daripada Air Asia. Barang-barang ini diserahkan kepada pihak-pihak bank berwajib dalam hal ini KNKT.
Berdasarkan temuan serpihan-serpihan, memang kelihatannya badan pesawat ini patah atau pecah, berpisah antara bodi dengan ekornya. Dari hasil scanning ini masih belum pasti juga, posisinya juga belum pasti juga.
Meanwhile, Indonesia launched a separate probe into the flight licenses following reports that the AirAsia QZ8501 did not have permission to fly on the day it crashed.
AA tidak salah kok sudah dibekukan. Itu kan ya pertanyaannya ya. Identifikasi kita sudah jelas dia salah. Karena tidak terbang di waktu yang telah diberikan persetujuan.
Indonesian officials said that 260 national and international doctors are working to identify the remains recovered using fingerprints, dental records and bone DNA. Out of the 37 bodies recovered so far, only 9 have been identified. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
More international news and updates in Global Buzz. At least 2 people were killed and scores injured today after Bangladeshi authorities tried to break up a banned rally by anti-government protesters. The rally was organized by the country's main opposition party, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, to mark the first anniversary of the disputed general election. The ruling Awami League government had announced the protest ban on Sunday and deployed thousands of security personnel in the capital Dhaka. BNP chief Khalid Zia has demanded that fresh polls be held. The euro slid to a 9-year low against the dollar today, dropping 1.2% to $1.1864 to a euro, its weakest since March 2006. The slide comes as investors predicted the European Central Bank may act to stimulate the economy. Greek political turmoil also weighed heavily on the currency. Lebanon has imposed new restrictions for Syrian refugees entering the country. Syrians will now have to obtain a visa to enter Lebanon. Travel between the two countries has been largely unrestricted so far. This is seen as the latest of a series of steps to stop the influx of refugees. Lebanon is already home to more than 1 million refugees. At least one person was killed in Kabul today as a suicide bomber targeted a European Union police van. 5 more people were reportedly injured. Significantly, the attack comes as the US withdrew its combat troops from Afghanistan, ending their mission. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack. Australia is racing against time to contain a major bushfire before temperatures soar and high winds fuel the blaze. Over 30 homes are already feared destroyed in the hills behind the city of Adelaide. At least 500 firefighters are on their feet to tackle the raging fires which have been burning since Friday. Some sports now, and the Sports Ministry today decided to recommend ace shuttler Saina Nehwal for the Padma Bhushan Award. However, the ministry claimed that it did not receive her nomination from the Badminton Association of India within the stipulated deadline. On Saturday, a disappointed Saina had stated that the BAI had recommended her name for the Padma Bhushan in August last year, but the Sports Ministry rejected her application, citing norms. She'd even questioned Padma Bhushan award to wrestler Sushil Kumar, claiming the norm was not followed in his case. However, both athletes welcomed the Sports Ministry's decision today.
I just wanted the eligible players' names to be considered. That's all. I'm not saying anything else. The jury will decide. They are the ones to decide. I will just keep on playing and keep giving my best always. And finally, I'm just thankful to Mr. Sonowal sir for doing this, and it's a great support.
मैं साइना को भी मुबारकबाद देना चाहूँगा आपके माध्यम से कि खेल मंत्री जी का जो एक फैसला था वो बड़ा अच्छा था.
And more sports news in Sports Beat. India take on Australia in the 4th and final test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy in Sydney starting tomorrow. Australia already 2-0 up in the 4-match series and India will only be playing for pride. Also at stake is a place in the ICC Test rankings. India will fall further if they lose this match. For Australia, this will be an emotional match. Cricketer Phil Hughes was hit on this ground, leading to his death. India's new Test skipper Virat Kohli says Mahendra Singh Dhoni's retirement announcement came as a shock to the team. Kohli said that Dhoni's composure and decision-making has been crucial for the team. Kohli will be leading the team for the first time as full-time captain in the Sydney Test. His style of leadership will be under close scrutiny in the wake of Dhoni's exit. Australia has made one change to its lineup for the 4th Test against India in Sydney. Mitchell Starc will be replacing injured all-rounder Mitchell Johnson. Paceman Johnson is suffering from a hamstring strain. Reports say that it's not an injury, but the pacer is just taking it easy as the hosts already have the series in the bag. Valencia came from behind to end Real Madrid's record 22-match run winning streak. A fine header from Nicolas Otamendi helped secure the win 2-1. But Real Madrid still tops the La Liga thanks to Barcelona's defeat. Barca lost to the hands of Real Sociedad with an early goal from Jordi Alba. And that's the news tonight. Good night.